All right, for all you Festool Domino owners or wannabe Domino owners, either the 500 or the 700, I've got a real neat product to show you from FastCap. It's called a mortise marker. Now I have a set here that is made for my XL 700, and what it does is it shows me exactly where to drill out for an XL connector. Now this can be used for, you know, a table to leg connection, or in the case of a bed frame that you want to be able to knock down. This marker system is really going to be beneficial, and I think very affordable and well worth the money. Now, when I heard from Paul Akers that they were coming out with a mortise marker for both Domino machines, me owning a Domino XL and having connections from a railing to a newel post, I thought these markers would be really a leg up, because for critical joints, it's sometimes really difficult to make a perfect connection and drill your holes in the right spot, whether you're using a Domino or a Domino connector. For example, if you're putting a contoured railing or any kind of railing into a post and it's got to connect to the middle of the post, it's really critical to have that Domino hole in the newel post in exactly the right spot. And in my work, where I'm attaching the newel post to the floor, cranking it down, gluing it in place, it's perfectly plumb, and I'm coming into that post with a railing or a fitting like this one, boy, if I'm off a millimeter or 1/16 of an inch, that's pretty critical. But this marker is going to allow you to center that railing and make your hole in the post in exactly the right spot. The same thing can be said for doing some kind of a connection where you have a skirt on a table coming into a leg, or a bed frame coming into a bed leg. So this is something that I think is really a beneficial piece of kit for doing that kind of work. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to fit the mortise marker into the hole. In this case, I'm using a 14 mil Domino hole, a 14 mil marker. Then I'm going to place it on my workpiece where the connection is going to go, and I'm going to give it a sharp blow with a mallet. All right, so now I've got a mark. I'll zoom in and let you see that. And the other option is to mark your Domino marker, or your mortise marker, with the felt pen. Place that on your workpiece. Now mark it. So you can see that's a really definitive looking line, especially if you're using dark wood. And beside it, you can see one I've done on masking tape, and that also makes a really good impression. So what you're now going to do is extend those lines with a straight edge so that you can drill that hole with your Domino machine and see those lines. Now I'm going to make a mark exactly 2 inches up from that line. I'm going to mark my piece 2 inches behind that X and place my Domino machine onto my workpiece and line it up appropriately. Now I use 2 inches because it's exactly 2 inches from the end of my vertical hold piece on my Domino XL to the center of the Domino bit itself. That's what this mark signifies. That's the middle of the Domino cutter. Now the other thing is, you can actually see where your Domino cutter is going to come down on that line. Now the Domino machine also has a line marking the center of the Domino cutter in the other direction as well, and you just line that up on your extended marks. Now let me take you to the job site where I'm going to use the mortise marker for the very first time on a really critical connection between a railing with a turn on it into a post, and I've got one shot to make it right. And I'll throw that clamp on there.
Tell.
There we are.
Now it's perfectly aligned, yeah.
Okay. All right, so the clamp thing didn't really work, and we're going to try a mallet here. Are you ready, Justin?
Yep.
Here's the outline of where the railing was, and here you can see the marker. And we may have done a faint line when we did the clamp, but this line here is pretty good. Here and here, and also this vertical line here. So I think if we use that, that should work for our receiver. All right, so we've got this set up. We've got a piece of wood here, hot glued to the Newel post, exactly 2 inches from this line. And this line represents dead center of that 14 mil domino hole. The plunge depth set on 25. We're up against our stopper here, and we're on the line. Here goes nothing. All right. I could actually see that the bit was on this line, so that was good. All right, step 1 is going to drive this receiver into the post. Just drive it in so it's flush. That's all you need to do. So now I'm going to take this rod here, and the correct one for this operation is got the threads on one end and this little divot on the other. I'm going to put these plastic covers on, and they will go parallel with that hole, or perpendicular, whatever way you want to put it, just like that. So we will thread that into that post. And when I crank this Allen wrench, it actually spreads the teeth on this receiver that's in the end of the post. All right, we're rolling. Allen wrench is there. Right down on here.
Alrighty.
we'll slowly kind of do that.
There. That's. Oh, all right.
That's working okay. Good. So for the XL mortise marker kit, you're going to get the 4 sizes that you're capable of drilling with an XL Domino cutter. You've got 14 mil, 12, 10, and 8, and you get 2 of each in each size. In the 500 kit, you're going to get 5, 6, 8, and 10, I believe. I don't own a 500, so I'm just going to talk about the XL. There is connector system. The XL connector system uses a 14 mil, and the 500 connector system uses an 8 mil domino cutter. I don't own the connector system for the 8 mil, and that's on my wish list sort of thing. But for the 14 mil, I've got the connector system. Now, just to give you a brief overview of how the connectors work, there's 2 different types. One is the connector system that I use when I go into a post, or in the case of a table leg, skirt connection, or bed frame connection, I use this one here where you drive this little receiver into your post. And once it's in there, I mean, you screw this part of the male part of the connector system into it, and it spreads the jaws of this connector into your workpiece, and you can't remove it again. And then once you slide this together, you tighten it up with a set screw, and that's how that system works. So that is, with glue, just a magnificent connection. Really, really solid. Now, the other thing you can do is you can, for example, combine an XL connector with a domino. And say I was going to go into, we'll say that this is the post for a table or a bed frame. I can use a domino and combine with an XL and have a glue joint and an XL joint to tighten the 2 pieces up. Or, you could do on a really big piece of material, you could use 2 connectors and 1 domino or whatever you want. I know I used this system recently on a really heavy duty stair stringer. It worked really good. There we go. Now the other style of XL connector is one where you have that set screw post apparatus in both pieces of the material. And where I would use this is if I was going to join 2 butcher block tops together and have my connectors underneath the counter. That's where I would use this system, and I think it's a really good system. So you get those 2 types of connectors in the kit. So you can see with the mortise markers how much that would help you with projects where you have to line things up precisely, and it's maybe not as straightforward as when you use your domino to do a glue up on a tabletop or something like that. And just to note, what you are left with is an access hole that's going to be on the bottom of your railing, or in the case of a table or a bed, on the inside. And you have 3 different colors of caps to just slip into that hole, snap it in place, and then later on, if it's a tear down bed frame, for example, you can take it apart and ship it. So just as a reminder, even if you're not using the connector system, the mortise markers are going to work really well for lining up your dominoes. So I hope that was helpful. If you own one of these bad boys, you're going to want to get yourself a set of these mortise markers from FastCap. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.